Hi. Sorry, I'm on my way in to teach my exam class 3B and I'm running a little late. So, I'm Lily. I'm a teacher, obviously. I am a mother, a wife, a pianist, a Capricorn. They're not typical, apparently. It is April 4th, over 10 years ago. A ordinary, mundane day in my life, except for the fact that it is the last day I can remember without my dystonia symptoms. Sorry. Did you put the bin out? It's Paul, my husband. Yes. The black bin. No. Green. I thought Monday recycling. No. Thursday. You see what I mean about mundane? Can you book Frank to do gutters? Hashtag living the dream. Love you too, dead wife. Dear, meant dear wife. Laughing emoji. Good afternoon, class. Good afternoon would be nice. We all well after the midterm break? Anybody do any work? Anyone any closer to finishing their projects than the Baroque composers? No? Oh well, a girl can dream. Mother is coming for dinner tonight. Can't be there. Remember, I'm dead. I'm doing a beef bourguignon with a heady burgundy. Might be able to drag my lifeless cadaver home for a plate of beef. Right, well, I had banked on some of you having your projects finished so we could have a chat about polyphonic versus homophonic textures as we move into the classical period, but since you're making me wait for your musings on J.B. Bach and friends, I'm just going to have to yank you, ready or not, into the classical period with Opus 84, the Egmont Overture by Mr. Ludwig van Beethoven. Dystonia, from the Latin meaning impaired function and tonos meaning muscle tension, a word I'd never heard of before, and one your average Joe, and as I've discovered, many medics have never heard of either. It's thought to affect something like between 30 to 50 people in every 100,000. To give you some perspective, that would be similar to the prevalence of multiple sclerosis. Yet most doctors will not see or perhaps recognize this disorder. Most will not have been taught about it in medical school, and the only reason some will know about it is because a patient with dystonia presents at their practice and they go on a learning journey with them. This is my journey. Not one I chose, but for better or for worse, this is where I find myself, and I want to share it with you. Right, projects in by Thursday at the very latest. Anything later than that is automatically docked 20%. And for the love of Bach, do a spell check. There is no K in Baroque. I'm looking at you, Mr. Finnan. This is my stop. Hello, I'm home. Can't hear me. Probably listening to a podcast. Smells good. Oh, hello, darling. How are you? You in your pajamas already? Granny will have something to say about that. Amy, my daughter, 16, beautiful, bossy, will one day rule the world. Right, will we get Operation Feed Granny underway? I'll tell you what, you set the table and I'm just going to pop in and say hi to Dad. How was school? Was it okay? Well, I was right. Granny didn't approve of the pajamas at the dining table. And she didn't approve of Paul's bourguignon either. Too much wine in the stock, apparently. Huh? No. I didn't think the stock was too rich. Sorry. I didn't think the stock was too rich. You saw my plate, I licked it clean. Huh? No, I can't take her. I've got orchestra. So, thinking about the two pieces of music that I asked you to study, Opus 18 versus Opus 74, was there anything significantly different between them that struck you? Anything? Catherine, are you asleep or are you thinking? Matthew, yes. Yes, exactly. Fewer higher notes in the second piece. So as Beethoven's deafness progressed, he tended to favour lower and middle notes that he could hear more clearly. Now, if we look in the manuscript on the screen here... Sorry, just give me a second. I'm going to let you listen to an example of his later work, and I'm just going to get myself a glass of water. Paul, I'm in the car. I'm in the car park at work. Can you come and get me? No, it's just pain in my neck. It's back again. It's really bad. I can't drive. I can't even turn my head. Yeah, okay, don't be long. Yeah, I'll be here. Thanks. I'm at the doctor's, reading an article on gravel or bark, which is best for your garden. We live in an apartment. I really don't want to wait. I just want to find out whatever's going on with me. Okay. Here we go. Hi. Yeah, nice to meet you. No, I don't think we've met before. So I've been having bouts of severe neck pain and my head sort of feels like it's turning to the right. Well, it's not doing it now. It is, but just not as severely. It can last for hours, even a full day. It sort of feels like a corkscrew, like the muscle has been pulled and twisted at the same time. And the pain's really bad, like in my upper back and my shoulders and my neck. No, it actually disappears at night. How severe? Like
10. 10 out of 10. Yeah, it is. It's really distressing. And like, I work as a teacher, so just putting the pain to one side, it's really embarrassing, you know, not being able to control my movement in front of the students. No, I wouldn't say that we have major stress at the moment. Like, obviously we have our stresses like everybody else, you know, we have some money issues and our daughter gives us a bit of concern at times, but I don't really have any stress relieving activities because I don't think I have major stress. Okay. Okay. So, that was my first visit to the GP about my symptoms, and I'm being sent away with a prescription for pain relief, a sick note for work, and a recommendation that I try meditation. If things get worse, he says I should see a physiotherapist, but bottom line is he says he thinks it's stress-induced. He says I seem stressed. Of course, I seem stressed. I'm in pain. So it's a couple of months since my visit to the doctor, and things are getting worse. I'm experiencing pain most of the time, and my neck is twisted to the right. So you're joining me on my daily walk, and the walk is part of my recommended daily stress program. It's a beautiful autumn day, and I am choosing to walk when it's dark because, you know, I don't want to see anyone I know. So I'm steeping myself in hot baths, I'm rubbing anti-inflammatory gel into my neck, I'm sitting with hot water bottles wrapped in towels around me, but nothing, no relief. I'm seeing a physiotherapist, it's not helping. In fact, I think the exercises are making things worse. Do you want to see my search history? This is my life now. Listening to bloody yoga gongs and looking my symptoms up on the internet. So, possible causes of my symptoms are pinched nerve, stroke, repetitive strain, mental stress, meningitis, whiplash, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, of course, stroke, tumor. My money's on a tumor. I'm not even joking. I'm convinced I have a tumor and I'm going to die. I'm trying to hide how scared I am from my family. I've written a letter to Amy in the event of my demise and hidden it in my underwear drawer. Advice for life sort of thing, you know, start your pension young, never stay in a relationship with someone who doesn't make you laugh. There's one for Paul too. He should remarry. Obviously, she won't make him as happy as I do, but he should try. Try to get his book published, and whatever happens, do not let his mother move in. I'm not just trying to hide how I feel. I am hiding. I'm avoiding everyone. I'm avoiding Paul. I don't want him to see me like this. And Amy, oh my God, I can't bear her seeing her mama in so much pain. So I spoke to the doctor yesterday, and he's making murmurings about it being a herniated disc or tendonitis, but I just know it's something else. I'm pushing for an MRI. I just have to wait for an appointment to come up. Hang on, somebody's calling me. Oh, hello, darling, how are you? You on your way home? I'm just finishing my walk. Oh, somebody's been shopping. Oh God, yeah, I forgot, you're getting your graduation dress. Will we have a look at it when we get home? Okay. Amy chose green because she thought it would match the dress that she had chosen for me. Told you she was bossy. But as it happens, I did not wear green or anything else because I didn't go to the graduation. By that time, the pain I was in was intolerable. Paul and Amy barred me from doing housework after Amy found me lying on the floor next to the vacuum cleaner crying. I've cried all over this house. I have cried over the vacuum cleaner, the ironing board, the bread dough. I didn't go anywhere for the next 18 months. I spent most of my time in bed.
My head was so badly twisted.
My head was so badly twisted
that to turn it around to the front,
to move it forward, I had to put my hand on the back of my head and manipulate it around.
By that time, I had seen 6 doctors, 2 physiotherapists, 2
6
surgeons.
doctors, 2 physiotherapists, and 2 surgeons.
Not a teacher. I am not a mother.
I'm not a teacher.
A wife.
I'm not a mother. I'm not a wife.
I'm a mess.
I'm a mess.
You're joining me in another stage of my journey. We're on a train. It's now 2 years with undiagnosed symptoms. And my doctor wants me to go and see a movement disorder specialist. Paul has just gone to get us coffees. I'm not keen, but I feel like I've seen every specialist there is, but Paul is insistent, so here we are. Another day, another journey. Back January 12th? Okay. Sorry, what did you say it was called? Dystonia. Thanks. Oh, sorry. I have dystonia. There's a word for what I have, and I'm not mad. I have cervical dystonia affecting the head and neck. Others can have it in other parts of the body or all over. So it's not known what causes it, but it's thought to be around a change in how nerve cells communicate with the brain. After 2 years of disability and intense pain, I have a diagnosis.
First floor.
There's no cure, but there are treatments. There are treatments.
Doors opening.
Where is he? There he is. So I will be getting regular botulinum injections, I think every 3 months or so. No, in my neck. You're gonna have to put up with this face, I'm afraid. I think she said the botulinum prevents the muscles from contracting. She said, hopefully that will work for you, whatever that means. Oh, God, hope. It's been a long time since I felt that. But hope has a way of keeping you dangling. I've had a couple of sessions of the botulinum injections now, and I'm still waiting for this great change to affect itself. I mean, yes, there's been a definite improvement, but maybe not the transformation I was hoping for. Meantime, Amy has made it her mission to ingest all the internet can tell her about dystonia. Mum, did you know Alexander the Great probably had dystonia? It's true. Look at any of the statues, they mostly depict him with a twisted neck. Anyway, Amy has discovered a physiotherapist who specializes in dystonia and lives just about an hour away from us, so here we are. Another journey. I'm met at the door by a woman who I can only imagine wrestles bears for fun in her spare time. This is Poppy, my physiotherapist. Poppy does a lot of gentle neck manipulation, and we do a lot of work with mirrors. And we talk. And she gets me to talk. I tell her about the months in bed, the depression. She finds out I used to dance, just around the kitchen with Amy. But we did it a lot. Right, up you get. And she has me jumping around the treatment room. Your head is not a Ming vase. You can move. Every time I'd come for a treatment, we'd end up boogieing. And I realised this is what was missing, this multidisciplinary approach. The physio and the injections together make very significant changes. This woman gave me my life back. I'm back teaching 3 days a week. 3 days is manageable. Anything more would probably trigger my dystonia. So we all know that Beethoven's Ninth is considered extraordinary, but why? Yes, it is the first symphony to combine a choir, solo artists, and an orchestra. Yes, it's an hour long. Anything else? Do you see what I did there? My head was beginning to turn slightly, so I used a little sensory trick to bring it back to center by placing a pen against the opposite cheek. Now, most CD patients have their own tricks. Some people, well, not me, but some people just have to imagine that they're doing the trick and the head will readjust. Cara, yes. Yes. Beethoven was completely deaf at this point. Now, in earlier years, he used to use a wooden stick between his teeth so he could hear the piano's vibrations. But in later years, he had to rely completely upon his inner ear and his imagination. It is extraordinary how us humans can find a way around adversity. Poppy has recommended that I contact my local dystonia support group, so here I am on my way to my first meeting. Sorry, excuse me, I'm looking for the Room 7. Thank you. How did he know? Hiya, I'm Lily. I'm new. Thanks. Wow. There's all sorts here. From mid-20s to Thomas, who's a sprightly 83. Some people have more challenging dystonia than others. There's Sarah, who's 29. She uses a wheelchair. Sarah's dystonia started when she was 12, and it affects her speech as well. And then there's Kyra, who's 39. She is a stunning-looking, high-flying executive. She's recently been diagnosed with focal dystonia, which causes uncontrolled blinking in her eyes. Then there's Frank. He's a lovely, warm guy. He seems to be running the meeting today. Frank works in IT, I'm gathering. And the botulinum injection stopped working for him, so he chose to have DBS. Sorry, DBS is deep brain stimulation. It's where a thing, essentially a pacemaker, is implanted and it delivers electrical stimulation to the parts of the brain associated with dystonia. And then there's Lauren, who's sitting next to me. She's just a few years older than me and she has cervical dystonia as well. Lauren's full of opinions about who's a great consultant and who's rubbish. I like this lady. I'm not going to lie, this is a little overwhelming. I'm looking at Sarah and I'm grateful that my dystonia is not as severe. But then again, things could change. If the injection stopped working for Frank, and that could happen to me too. But I am very moved by this human impulse to come together and support. It's now 8 years since my diagnosis, and my dystonia continues to be managed through injections, physio, and ongoing self-care. I now volunteer for my dystonia support group. Dystonia is probably massively underdiagnosed through lack of awareness. I tell people to come to the group, don't hide, don't be afraid to go out to get on the bus or go to the shop. Just tell people what you have. I have dystonia. It's a neurological condition that sometimes makes it difficult for me to move my head or whatever, and then it's nothing. I've educated my optician, my hairdresser. My dentist now keeps a special pillow aside for me for my comfort. I tell the medics who I meet through my advocacy, dystonia is very difficult to diagnose, so put your ears on. Listen, really listen to your patients. I'm Lily. I am a teacher, a mother, a wife. I have dystonia. I am not dystonia. Thank you for listening.